Well, I think we are live now. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube, and hello, Twitch. We will be breaking down what the talk of the town across the state has been in regards to our winter weather coming through late Saturday night and into Sunday morning, and really what the talk around that is right now. I'm going to go ahead and quickly make sure the chat is on so that I can answer any questions that need to be answered uh, today during this live stream, because I can only assume there will be plenty of questions regarding this system and what are the odds of this, what are the odds of that, and so really stuff's all over the place for this. So the first thing we're going to look at is actually going to be the 18Z NAM model, which this is from Noon. So this is a Noon run of the NAM, which is really our first look at a medium range model. This model can go up to 84 hours out. And so I'm going to quickly bring up my Epic Pin here, which is the name for the thing that I can make circles and all on the map. So this run of the NAM showed roughly about an inch or two possible in the coastal counties. Yeah, this shows about an inch or two towards Jackson and George counties. And like I said, all these are just possibilities, and we have to take all these possibilities and put them together to really figure out what's going to happen. So this was the noon run of the NAM, which showed snow possible in some of the coastal counties, maybe up towards Perry and Greene County as well. But then if we look at the 0Z of the NAM, which just happened, the 0Z of the NAM showing nothing as of right now. Now, this would be for 6 a.m. on Sunday. So the newest run of the NAM that just came in shows nothing across South Mississippi. And so, like I said, so you have this NAM run that shows nothing. You have the 18Z run of the NAM, which was 6 hours ago, that shows maybe a few inches of snow in South Mississippi. But then if we go to the 6 a.m. run of the NAM, I mean, it's just been going down throughout the day. This is the 6 a.m. run, which showed, wow, I mean, this is a snowstorm across South Mississippi. This is what we would consider a snowstorm across South Mississippi. But as the day has gone, we've seen the NAM really go away from these high snow percentages. And this was kind of expected. This is what you usually see with the GFS and with the NAM. Usually it takes right at the 48-hour mark for them to really back down on what the snow chances are across Mississippi. And so, like I said, yeah, this was the morning run of the NAM at 6 a.m., which showed, I mean, this is anywhere from dusting to 4 inches of snow across South Mississippi. And then the noon run, which put that down even farther towards 1 to 2 inches across the coastal counties. And then the run that just happened showing nothing, not a single thing. And so why this is important is because this is a medium range model. This is a model that only goes 84 hours out. This is a model that is meant for short-term forecasting, or medium range forecasting, I should say. It has a higher resolution than the GFS and the Euro, meaning that it has more data points and is generally more accurate. Now, the NAM has its moments, especially with severe weather and snow, but especially if the NAM, which is usually more aggressive, is backing off of the snow potential. I mean, maybe we're not going to see anything. Maybe we still see a dusting across South Mississippi. It's hard to know right now, but we're definitely seeing the NAM, which was kind of suggesting that snowstorm being there, just kind of going away now as we hit about the 48-hour mark until this system is supposed to be here. Now, I want to change over and switch gears to looking at the deterministic GFS. Now, the deterministic GFS is still the American model that we talked about. We talked about how it sucks and how it's bad with severe weather, bad with southern snow, and some other things. This was the model that was really showing the big snowstorm, that all the hype pages and everything was showing up, or that all these hype pages was showing for good clicks and laughs and giggles and all that. The deterministic run from, let's see, this was from noon with the GFS, shows nothing across South Mississippi, and this was the global model that was showing that snow potential across South Mississippi. If we go back to the 6 a.m. run, 6 a.m. run showed maybe some trace amounts of snow in central Mississippi. The midnight run from the day before was what went crazy. This showed, I mean, that's 3 to 4 inches across the coastal counties up towards Perry and Perry and Greene counties as well, and it also showed some dusting across central Mississippi as well. And so, like I said, the GFS has also backed off on this as well. So seeing that the GFS and that the NAM has both really backed off of the heavy snow potential, it's definitely something to watch. And remember, this is total snowfall. So these numbers that you've been seeing is just how much snow falls from the cloud to the ground. It is not how much sticks. And so even if this wild model from midnight last night happened via the GFS, this is from roughly 18 hours ago. Even if this did happen, if I went to snow depth, I mean that's only showing maybe an inch of snow sticking. Okay, please pardon the noise in the background. Hopefully it's not that bad. I thank you for tuning in. Sorry, I had to deal with something just real quick. But yeah, I mean, the GFS was showing 3 to 4 inches of snow last night across South Mississippi, but sticking was only about a half an inch to an inch. So, like I said, the numbers you've been seeing are generally very high for what we're expecting. Like I said, usually in the South, what has to happen is it has to snow for several hours to get all the portions of the atmosphere either wet enough or cold enough for snow to stick. And so the numbers that you've probably seen Pages post is total snow falling to the ground and not snow sticking. I've been focusing on the snow sticking aspect, which is really only shown about trace amounts of snow across portions of South Mississippi, and really those chances are dwindling. Let's move over to the European deterministic model. This is from 6 a.m. as well. I don't have the midnight, or I don't have the 24Z run just yet. I should get access to that here before too long. But for now, I mean, this also showed some trace amounts of snow over South Mississippi. This is really over the coastal counties. So it's going to be we're really going to have to wait and see what the newest run of the NAM, or not the NAM, the Euro shows. And so while, yes, the NAM is a higher resolution model, generally the Euro is more believable when it comes to southern snow. And so we've looked at the deterministic models here, which are like the single model runs. Let's look at the ensembles. So I want to take a look at the Euro ensembles here. This is from the same 6 a.m. run from this morning, which the Euro showed on average about 1/10 to 2/10 of snow sticking across areas of coastal Mississippi. Now, that could definitely mean some trace amounts of snow south of I-20, but that's what we're looking at so far with the European ensembles from this morning. If we looked at total, never mind. I don't have total snowfall. I just have snow sticking in terms of South Mississippi and what we can see. I'm not going to doubt that flurries are possible and that we'll see possibly some little tiny snow showers across South Mississippi. But really, the odds of anything sticking are still fairly low. And if anything does stick, it looks like it would more than likely be less than 1/4 of an inch. I want to move over now to the GEFS, which is the GFS ensembles. This is the same time. This is from 6 a.m. So these ensembles, what happens is it takes 30 runs of the GFS and averages them together. So if we're looking at total snowfall that the GFS was showing, it was roughly 1 inch to trace amounts of snow across all of Mississippi. And so that was total snow falling from the sky. If we look at the snow depth, you can see that the GFS was showing maybe, was maybe showing a dusting to about 1/4 inch of snow down towards South Mississippi. So really, a lot of these are pointing towards the same things in terms of how much snow will make it to the ground. Now, I want to look at the 18Z model, or the 18Z run of the GFS, and notice how that's gone away now. I mean, we're not seeing any real big amounts of snow across the South. I mean, it's gone away in this run of the GFS. And so, I mean, all of a sudden, we're not seeing much of anything across South Mississippi, and especially when we're seeing certain very popular weather pages posting that, oh, we have a slight risk of a snowstorm, of a winter storm. It's just where are we getting that from? Because the models have been going down all day. They've been showing that maybe you get trace amounts of snow, but we're not talking about any real winter storm with this system. It's more of just a real clickbait farm we've seen out there. I mean, I'm telling you what the models are saying. The models are saying that snow flurries are possible, but we're going to get anywhere from trace to maybe a quarter inch of snow on the ground. And that's really what you want to hear. You don't really want to know how much snow falls from the cloud and doesn't stick to the ground. I don't think anyone cares if 6 inches of snow falls from the cloud, but none of it sticks. I don't think anyone really cares too much about that. I really don't think our odds of seeing a big winter snow are that high. I'm not saying they're impossible. We definitely saw what happened last year, but I'm not seeing it. The Canadian ensembles aren't seeing it as well, and so we're looking at the same things. I mean, we like going back through it. The NAM has showed trace amounts of snow possible. The Euro has gone away from that. The GFS is showing trace amounts of snow possible, but really we're not seeing anything anymore when it comes to big, large, like 3 to 5 inches of snow on the ground. We're not seeing that anymore. And so, I honestly think if you're seeing pages that are pushing this big snowstorm thing, I would really consider maybe where you're getting your weather from. Especially if this system does nothing. If this system does nothing, and you're still seeing all these pages that are posting about a major winter storm, I'd really consider where you're getting your weather information from, because the data is just not there anymore. And I know we can point to last year and point to where we were calling for maybe not me. I mean, this is my first year doing some forecasting. Where we were calling for trace amounts of snow, but then you had 6 inches of snow on the ground in Mississippi. GFS got it right, but now the GFS doesn't even show it. The GFS is showing trace amounts of snow. So what's the excuse now? Is the real question. I'm gonna pull up the comment section now and try to answer some questions right now. Now that I can look at them. I'm sorry, it wasn't really working, and I don't know really why it wasn't working. So the first question was, what about Collins, Mississippi? I think Collins is probably a little bit north of where we're really expecting any accumulation to happen, but I wouldn't say it's outside of that zone. It's it's still, whenever you're coming to a southern snow system like this, it's really hard to pinpoint down what's going to happen. I'd say Collins is probably hit or miss. Rather, you get no snow at all because of the lack of moisture, or maybe you get trace amounts to about 1/10 of an inch of snow on the ground. It's still 48 hours out, so I want to be hesitant when I say that, but I think more than likely your highest snow percentages is going to be anywhere from nothing to about a trace to 1/10 of an inch of snow on the ground. Sorry. Any questions, please make sure to put them in the comments. I'm going to go back to the snow depth from the NAM. This is at 0Z, which shows nothing across South Mississippi. And so what is causing this? Like, if we look at sorry, I'm trying to find temperature. This is what we need to look at. Like, if we're looking at temperature, 60 hours out is about where we're sitting. The NAM is now just showing temperatures not making it far enough south. Cold temperatures not making it far enough south to support snow, and I think that's what we're gonna see, because all these pages that have been posting about the snow percentages, it all comes down to rather it's going to be cold enough. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to rather it's going to be cold enough, and we've really been seeing that freezing temperatures probably won't make it far enough south for snow. Like, if we look at the NAM from, let's say, 48 hours from now, all these cells across South Mississippi, if I take a sounding from one of these and look at it, this shows 45-degree temperatures at the surface, and that's the farthest north. And sure, you can say the NAM is not the best at predicting temperatures, but that's way above the temperatures you need for snow. That's 45 degrees at the surface. That's 13 degrees too high. We can even look a little farther south. This is for 6 p.m., but this is still 43 degrees. And moving on to this is 6 in the morning on Sunday. Looking at to what's left, it's still 38 degrees at the surface. That's simply not cold enough for snow. And so what's been happening is you get these model runs that show the cold air making it farther south fast enough. And so what it's doing is it's taking the estimated amount of rain, because all of these models, none of these models predict snow. None of them predict snow. They predict rainfall and then convert it to snow. And so they take the total amount of rainfall and multiply it by 10. And that's usually your snow depth. And so now that we're kind of expecting temperatures to not get cold enough. Oh, did I just lag out? Can y'all hear me? Hello? Is the stream lagging? I'm seeing some issues on my end. Are we good? Can y'all hear me? Get like a big warning on my screen saying that the stream's cutting in and out. Here, let me check real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, never mind. Apparently we're good. I think we're fixing some problems that we're having. I don't know what platform it's happening on. But like I said, temperatures just aren't going to be cold enough, it seems like. And now we have 48 hours for that to change and for that look to change. But like I said, I'm not buying into the real big snow chances right now. I mean, maybe the Euro shows it gets cold enough. Let's see what the GFS shows. The GFS, if we go to the GFS precipitation, I mean, GFS is maybe hinting at some snow being possible. Let's go to the southern United States and go back a few more hours. I mean, GFS is showing it being 37 degrees. That's not cold enough for snow. Definitely not cold enough for snow. And so we're going to need temperatures to be several degrees cooler or colder than it is currently expected to be right now to produce snow across South Mississippi. Now, if that cold air gets here quick enough, we could definitely see snow being possible. But as of right now, that's not looking very likely. And this is also another situation where it definitely looks like freezing rain and sleet might not be that big of a issue. It looks like if anything happens, it will be snow. And that is because ignoring the surface, above the surface, the temperatures are not increasing at all, which has to happen for you to get sleet and freezing rain. So at least if it did get cold enough, this would be a snow event. We're not really worrying about sleet and freezing rain. And so, like I said, temperatures too high. Temperatures too high for snow. And so, I mean, take of that as you will. If we get temperatures to cool down, maybe 5-6 degrees, we could see some snow. But right now, the only thing I'm really thinking that are